Over the past couple of weeks, I have come to this location and I have driven my car down a 2-mile winding track that goes in between trees and barriers and different things like that. And I have used my DJI Mavic 3 and my DJI Mini 3 Pro to track the car as I'm driving down this winding road. The results from the DJI Mavic 3 and the DJI Mini 3 Pro have been fantastic and they have tracked without fault. So I'm coming out to do another tracking test, the same location, the same test, but this time using the DJI Mini 2. This is Lassie, my Mini 2. Now, there's a few differences using a DJI Mini 2 if you're going to be tracking anything at all. And the first thing is that the DJI Mini 2 doesn't have a built-in tracking feature, so you have to use a third-party app. There are a few available. Maven, Litchi, Rainbow and DroneLink are the third-party apps that I'm aware of and I have used. But my preferred third-party app for tracking purposes with the DJI Mini 2 is Maven. And Maven suits me very well because it works with an iPhone particularly well, and it's an iPhone that I use attached to my controller. So I'm going to be using Maven today to track my DJI Mini 2 down this road. Now, the second thing that you have to bear in mind when you're using a DJI Mini 2 is that it doesn't have any obstacle avoidance. And for that reason, I'm going to be setting Lassie up quite high today, higher than the top of any of the trees, so that I don't have to worry about her not having obstacle avoidance. I know she won't collide with any of the trees. And the final thing is, if you have a look around today, you'll see that it looks a bit foggy and misty. It's not actually foggy. What it is the clouds are really low today and I'm up quite high. This is a high hill I'm up, not quite a mountain, but it's a high hill. So this is, the cloud is quite low and I'm up high. So as I drive the car down the track, I will be driving through the cloud, and therefore at certain points I expect that the car may be not visible to the DJI Mini 2. So how will she track? Well, Maven doesn't track using the subject. You don't draw a square around the subject that you wish to track as you would do with the Mini 3 Pro or the Mavic 3. The Maven app actually uses the drone to track the controller. So even if the car is obscured by either trees or the clouds, it doesn't matter. The drone will still track the controller, which is going to be sitting right beside me inside the car. So I don't even have to worry about the drone losing visibility of the car. So, as the YouTubers say, without further ado, let's get this show on the road. She lost me on the screen, but she is still tracking me. So what I'm having to do here is we're having to make some gimbal adjustments as I drive along to try to keep her in view on the screen, which is not ideal. And she is getting pretty close to the tops of those trees, and without obstacle avoidance, this could be a recipe for disaster. Especially as I start to get around this bend. Will she cut the bend or overfly the bend into the trees? And she is very close to the tops of those trees there. One of the good things about the Maven app when you're doing tracking is that if you'll see on the screen, the home point does keep updating. So as you drive along, the home point will update, which means that in the event of a low battery warning or a disconnection, the drone is only going to fly to the most recent update point. She's getting awful close to those trees to the left there, and without obstacle avoidance, It's a bit of a worry. Right. I think I might have to move her over a little bit. Right, okay. I'm gonna get her and have a look and see where she is actually. Relative to those trees, because it's hard to tell on the screen. She is away above the trees, so she should be safe enough there, I think. It does look to me that she's above the trees, but the problem is that as I go down this hill, the trees, she may then become level with the treetops. So what I'll do is I'll raise her height a little bit, and the follow me mode's going to stop when I do that. No, it's not. But I will have to change the angle of the gimbal. So I've moved her up a bit. So I know that I'm happy, content now that she is well above the top of any of the trees. And as I said, this isn't an obstacle avoidance test because she doesn't have any. This is a test of the tracking on Maven. So with that in mind, let's continue on. Now that I'm fairly confident that she's above the trees. And there you go, she's continued to track me and follow me. Although she's almost directly above me now, so we're kind of getting a bird's eye view of the car. Which is still an interesting point of view to have, and something that you could use in some of your footage if you're making a wee type of video. This might be a really nice bit of content, a nice bit of footage to add in. She's actually tracking the controller, which is the way the Maven app works, is that the drone will track the controller, and that's it. Now it says that it can't update the home point on the screen, so I will have to listen out for low battery warnings. And I know I got a 50% low warning just a few minutes ago, but we should be all right. Don't know why it can't update the home point.
Stop.
Oh, follow me stopped. That's no good. I want it to continue to do that. Right, can't update the home point. That's probably something that I hit. That was my fault. Here we go again. She is following me. As you can see, it's not quite as straightforward and as simple as using the track on the Mavic 3 or the Mini 3 Pro, because both of those drones have the track feature built into the DJI Fly software or application, if you like. Whereas the DJI Mini 2 doesn't have any tracking facility whatsoever. But it can be done. It can be done using a third-party app, and this one, Maven, if you're an iOS user, is the best. I've shown that before. If you are an Android user, probably Litchi might be a good choice for you. Maybe the only choice for you. I don't think Maven works with Android phones. I think the Maven Lite version does, but the full version of Maven doesn't. But I think it's good to know that even if you have a Mini 2 and you can't, for whatever reason, upgrade, if it's an upgrade at all, you can't get yourself a Mini 3 Pro or any of the Mavics. It's good to know that if you want to, right, I'm going to interrupt what I'm saying here just to say that the car has actually disappeared around the trees here. But that doesn't really matter to the Maven app, because the Maven app
Return home will start in 10 seconds.
is actually tracking the controller and not the car, not the visual car. So it will continue. Oh, right, well, we've done home now, so I'm going to stop that. I'm going to cancel that if I can. And just bring her down here. Right. Now I think that's probably because of a low battery there. So I'm going to get out and just bring her home. So there you go. Because the battery doesn't last quite as long on the Mini 2, and obviously because I had a lot of faffing about on the way down, we didn't make it all the way to the bottom. But I think you get the idea that you can track using the Mini 2. What seems like she's away to the... Right, she's starting to land now, so I'll just bring her in. Right, so you can see, as I was saying there, that the tracking does work, and it does work very, very well, even with the Mini 2, if you use an app such as Maven. It works with Litchi as well if you're using an Android. I've never had much success with Litchi, but I've had great success in the tracking using Maven. As you saw today, that was, I would say, a very successful tracking test. And it's been a long time, maybe over a year since I've used Maven, so that's why I had a few stumbles and wasn't quite sure. But if you take your time and you practice and you understand it and know how it works, tracking is absolutely accomplishable, if that's even a word, using the DJI Mini 2, and it works very well. So for all you Mini 2 users, give a wee thumbs up if that was useful to you. And if you're not a Mini 2 user but you found it useful and entertaining anyway, a thumbs up would be much appreciated. Thanks a lot. I'll see you on the next one.